Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another podcast of Bold and Brown. Myself, I am Rupa.
And I'm Vinay. As always, please like, share, comment, do all of the above. We welcome every interaction we get. We're getting a lot of comments these days. Some of them, most of them are positive. Some of them are negative, which is good. You know, critics sometimes can be your best friend. So keep it coming. And we got another topic for today. I think this one is probably life-changing.
Has been for us.
Definitely. Splitting bills, 50-50.
Money, money, money.
Versus traditional roles where the man dem pays for everything.
Doesn't happen anymore, unfortunately.
We pay for things in other ways. we pay. We've been paying since 2015.
Oh, really? Let's get into it, shall we?
Does that mean you or me?
Okay, all right. So
Let's both get into it.
clearly, this is never rehearsed. We just go with the flow. But yeah, first of all, let me start with this. When it comes to money, I think it's a very controversial subject, especially in relationships and in marriage. And they do say that when arguments happen or when there's separation in marriage or divorces, it's normally one over two things. It's either time or money. The fact you don't have enough time together, or you're arguing about something financial, or you're just not in a good financial position. So these things they create the two biggest factors of people breaking up relationships. So it is a huge deal. And I think with time, we have actually gone through so many phases ourselves to understand that, okay, what's working, what's not working, what we need to continue with. And that's a little bit of what we're going to share with you today.
I mean, I'm doing criminal law, domestic violence, or relationship issues, whatever you want to call it. A lot of it does come down to finances, money. Not all the time, of course, but a large part of it. So having that area of your life, in some kind of control or managed, being on top of it. I love one of our mentors said, there's nothing wrong with being broke. That's a temporary thing, but being poor, that's different because that is a constant. And so, you can be broke. I mean, we've been broke many times of our life. We've been up, down, thankfully more up than down. But if it's broke, it's a temporary thing. And, there's a big, like Ruper said, there's a controversy about, what is the right thing to do? Should you split your bills 50-50? Should it be the man pays for everything because that's his role? He's the provider. So we want to get into that. But I just want to share with you very quickly. I'm of the school of thought that there is probably more on the man's side to pay. And maybe because from growing up, I've seen my dad do that. My mum's played more the housewife, traditional role, cook, clean, look after the kids. Dad's out there, earning the bread and butter. But that didn't, because my mum and dad did a business, a market stall, outdoor market stall, hard work, by the way, for 10 years. And mum was there every day. I mean, Monday to Saturday, every day. And Sunday was closed. And that was when you go to the wholesalers for buying. So the roles were interlinked anyway. On my mum's part, but my dad's part, no. He still stayed at home and watched cricket, in the evening and chilled whilst mum's in the kitchen. So when I first met Ruper, or Ruper can tell the story, or from your perspective, I'll tell you from my perspective what was actually going on. But do you want me to start first?
No, you go first.
So I was a trainee lawyer and we were in a business and I was sometimes on stage and I was edified, which means you were given an introduction before you come on, and I was said that to be the lawyer, and he's doing this business and blah blah blah, and people assumed that I was earning some decent amount of money, and it was completely the opposite because I wasn't a qualified lawyer, and I was doing that business pretty much full time. Jumped in, closed my eyes, jumped in. The only thing that kind of looked the part was a big black Mercedes CLS, my pride and joy. It was a new, like back then it was new. Obviously there's a new shape now. And I had got that from an investment, but I had no money. I didn't have money to put petrol in that car, just about insured on it. And I was, times were tough then. And thankfully, when I met Rupa, we used to go out. I mean, I didn't have enough money to put petrol in the car to go see her. It was diesel, by the way, so I didn't have enough money for the diesel. And thankfully, when we went out the first few times, you paid for everything. Thank God, because number one, I didn't have any money. That was number one. I didn't know what I was going to do. Or if I did, it was very small. It was a small amount. Like, just enough, maybe 50, 60 quid left on my credit card maxed out to pay for that meal. And thankfully you paid. And number two, it gave me a big impression of the person you are, that you weren't going to just let me take the check on every single occasion. So that did wonders for my perception of you.
Yeah, I think, my mentality has always been like that. And like you said, you kind of follow on from what you see your parents doing, how hard they work. And I've got to say, my mum, like for someone who's been working in a post office for the last 35 years, very recently retired, but been working in just a normal, as a counter clerk for 35 years, she always had money. She always was able to travel. She was very, very independent. My dad had his own role working for Royal Mail for so many years and then became a private chauffeur as well. But again, like with my parents, seeing them, they did have their own separate accounts, and maybe because my dad's a bit more of a spender than my mum, that's probably where I get it from.
For sure.
My mum, she would literally walk an extra 10 minutes to save 20p on a gallon of milk.
Sounds like me as well. And
No
my dad.
joke. Exactly.
I get that from my
So, we kind of pick up different habits from different people. And because my mum has always been so independent, I've also always been very independent, like literally couldn't wait to work from the age of, I think 16 or 17, right? When you get your national insurance number, I was like, I'm ready to work. I want to earn money. I want to pay my own bills and all that kind of stuff. And I was interested more in making money than ever educating myself, to be honest, going into a career or anything like that. For me, it was like, I just want to make money. So when I did meet Vinay, I was in a good position, working in my corporate job. I mean, I think back then I was on maybe, I say good position, like I was on maybe 32K annually. But I'm talking 2010, 2012, around that time. And back then, like for me, I thought that was good, right? In a managerial role. So I was like, okay, I'm doing okay. And I just never wanted to feel reliant on a man. I think that's always been in my mind. Like I wanted to be my own woman. I wanted to be able to pay my own way and show like generosity. You hear these things about like the gold diggers and, like man should always pay for a woman. Well, not necessarily. Like, well, again, this is a very controversial subject and I'm sure we're going to get a lot of comments on this. But it depends on your own thought process, your own mentality. Like, I want to feel powerful. I want to feel like appreciated. So in that way, I'm going to offer to pay. Like, doesn't mean I'm a doormat, but it means that I'm going to say, 50-50, you're working hard in a job. I'm working hard in a job. I'm not like a housewife. I'm not someone who's just sitting at home doing nothing, not earning a salary. What am I going to do with my salary if I can't treat the person that I enjoy being with, right? So that was my thought process. And actually the first time I took you out on a date, it was your birthday. So I had to pay. So I couldn't take him out and be like, yeah, by the way, you're paying your own bill.
And belly dancers as well.
No, there you go. See, that's how you knew you was with the right person.
It's a very secluded place, Liverpool Street. I thought I kind of know London, born and bred. And you took me down this dark alley.
Yes, underground dark alley.
Like this spiral stairs. I'm sure maybe some people know it.
It was beautiful.
It was really nice. I mean, we went back there with our siblings.
Yeah.
Your siblings.
Yeah.
And it was, and doing stuff like that, I was like, wow, this is an independent woman. She's not someone who just, just relies on someone. So that was admiration. And then, so then from there we got married. FYI, she also lent me more than 10,000 to start a car wash business, which was, you had money saved. I hadn't heard of the concept. I had never saved up until that. I'm just thinking, I think the most money I ever had in my bank account up until I met you, it was so low.
Yeah,
I mean, it was probably 2,000. So I'm the type of guy, if I've got money there, extra £5, it's gone. If money's there, it's going to get spent. I didn't know the concept of saving. I was very bad with money. And thankfully now things have changed. Why? Because after we got married, personal self-development, as you guys know, has been, the cornerstone of our life. And it still remains and it always will. And I remember we listened to a podcast, one of our mentors. And he said, what to do with money? when it comes in. So, after a while, we started earning good money. We were earning six figures
Yeah.
in our business, and we watched some few podcasts.
Yeah.
And a few different people were saying the same thing. So maybe, Ruby, you can break it down. What money, when it comes in, what to do with it.
And I just want to share this story. First of all, like when we started this business together online, and we were like business partners, so whatever money we would earn, it would kind of be joint in a way, but we could go into our back office and we could see like what we've earned over our lifetime period in that company or whatever. And I remember at one point, and this was still actually when we had our own separate accounts. So, I still had my own. I mean, of course, we have our own personal accounts now anyway. But we were we didn't really know what we were doing with money, put it that way. Because for me personally, I'd never come across this kind of money that I started to earn in the business online. So, we looked in our back office and we're like, I think I saw something like $250,000 that we had earned, over periods of a few years or whatever. And me and Vinny, we looked at each other, we're like, what, $250,000? Like, where is that gone? Like, we had nothing really to show for it. We hadn't bought a property. We hadn't done lavish 5-star first class holidays. We hadn't bought a brand new car, nothing like that. So it's like, where has $250,000 gone? Because we're living like paycheck to paycheck, even in this business. And I'm thinking, hang on, we're not doing something right. And it's actually when I started to understand with the law of attraction, manifestation, and really getting a lot deeper into this through personal self-development, I got to understand. And my mentor said to me, well, Rupa, you're on 10K a month at the moment. This is what you're getting, right? 10K a month. If you're not allowing space for 25K a month, how are you going to earn 25K a month? How will you earn the money if you don't know what you're going to do with it? And he asked me that question, what are you doing with your money that you're earning? And I couldn't answer him. I was like, I don't know, it's just going. So if you don't make room for more money to come, it's not gonna come. If you don't know what you're doing with every single penny that is coming into your account, you're not gonna be able to receive more. And when I understood this, I was like, wow, it was like a light bulb moment for me. And I said to Vin, okay, let's do this. Let's open up multiple different accounts. And it was long-winded and it was not an easy process, but we had to do it. If we want to open up, the world for receiving more, we had to know what we were doing with the money we had. So yeah, like we can break it down, right?
I mean, when I remember we listened to a podcast and said, if you don't know how to take care of your benefits, if you are on benefits, how are you going to know what to do with $1 million? I'll never forget that. So we started doing this process a little while into it, and about when money comes in, what to do with it.
Yeah.
Because if you just leave it in one pile and just use it for everything, you're not managing it correctly. And the process we're going to go through, it does more for your psychology than anything. And I think one of the first things, even before doing this, and I had heard about this, but I can tell you one thing from experience. If you save 3 to 6 months of whatever you're earning, doesn't matter what you're earning, 10,000 a year, 100,000 a year, 1 million a year, if you save 3 to 6 months and have that chunk in your bank account, you would feel a different level. You would feel a different person. You would come across so different because you have that backing and that security. And maybe like me, security has been one of your issues. You haven't felt secure and you want to feel secure. I'll tell you one thing, that security, you feel like you can take on the world in a sense that, you feel so financially strong. So doing that process, we just watched a podcast, one of the audios now, one of the reels, and it said if you earn or if you save 3 to 6 months of your wages into your bank account, is better than earning 200 grand a year. It feels that good. So I think that felt really good, and that's something I, implore you to do. Try it out. For me, doing that, there was no issue or worry about money. If your income stops, and you can still continue to survive for 6 months, you're going to feel like you've never felt before. But when money comes in, that money should be separated into different buckets. So let's go through the buckets.
Okay, so this is what we learn. And, there's no perfect answer and there's no right or wrong. People do things in different ways, but this is what really helped for us.
Yeah, or different percentages.
Exactly.
It's a mindset.
Yeah.
It's being able to control the amount. It's not
Exactly.
the percentage we're going to go through. And I think we've heard it from different people, and there's
Yeah.
different percentages, and we just done our own.
Exactly.
We haven't deviated from it that much, and it's going to be pretty much like this.
So when we had the money coming in, we basically decided, first of all, the first thing we're going to do is pay ourselves 10%. Okay, so you pay yourself 10%. That's for you to do your own little expenses, whatever you got to do, your clothes, your, whatever hobbies you have, gym memberships, whatever. That is like for yourself, your own expense, 10%. And then the next 10%, extremely important for me, it goes to charity. This is, they always say the most successful people in the world will say to you, minimum 10% of whatever you're earning should be given away. And it doesn't matter. You don't have to be earning a lot, guys, to give something away. You could be earning 100 a month, but you're still giving away that small amount, that £10. The more you give, the more you receive. And the quicker you understand that and you believe that, trust me, it's going to change everything. So however you want to give this money away to charity, whether it's a foundation close to your heart, whether it's your local community, whether it's, Mandid, of course, very, very
close to my heart.
Yes, absolutely.
So we
It's
have
had
our
to
own
be.
Sikh
You have no
charity.
choice. And we've done stuff like over Christmas, for example, we've made like tons and tons of sandwiches, right? Remember we did that before having kids as well. It's something that we should continue.
I did.
Go to Central London. Did you ever come with me?
No.
Go to Central London, distribute to all the homeless people.
No, but I would love to have done that. Number one. Number two, I don't remember making a sandwich. You've made it since I got married.
Okay, all right. So
This
that
is
was
hard.
it was.
I
Do you know
remember
what?
doing
We did that with like Vincent, with Samad.
Oh, you guys did that. I wasn't
Yeah.
here. I think I was abroad.
Yeah, we kind of kept
No,
it
I
as
remember
a,
you doing that because it's such a nice
tradition,
thing.
yeah. And we used to, and again, that is all part of charity, right? Even you doing something with your own hands, like it doesn't necessarily have to be you giving away physical money, but you're buying something to then offer to someone else.
It could be your time as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
If you haven't got money,
Yeah.
you could. I know, me, family, your family. We've been doing seva,
Yeah.
which is service. Seva means service,
Yeah.
and it could be to a charity. It could be for a cause. It could be for something where you're giving your time rather than money because you haven't got
Yeah.
money. You're giving your time.
Exactly.
But I think in this, obviously, we're talking the financial
The
aspect.
financial, yeah.
So 10% goes to pay yourself.
Yep.
10% goes to the charity of your choice. So we have 80% left.
Yep. 30% living expenses.
Yeah.
Like, at least 30% will go to living expenses.
I was just going to say, sorry, I was going to
Yeah.
say, Kevin O'Leary says that if your house, where you're paying mortgage or rent, is more than 25% of your income, you're in the wrong place.
Wow.
And it just kind of ties in what you just said, 30%. So can you see these figures are saying by different people, but they're 5% off.
Yeah.
But you're right. So if you're living somewhere and it's more than 30%, you may be not be able to afford where you live.
Yeah.
Or it may not be, and maybe it is. Guys, we're not here to tell you otherwise. Maybe you like to spend 50%. I mean, when I started working, when I got my first job, 50% of my money went on my car.
I can believe that. Only 50%, is that it?
Probably more. When you guys,
You were basically living above your means.
Subaru Impreza, Mitsubishi Evo 4. Come on now. These cars will take out Lamborghinis and Ferraris. I mean, I was just talking to one of the school dads. I'd done a school run, and we were talking about it for ages. We were talking about Vauxhall Novas and Ford Fiesta XR2i, I believe, and anyway,
And by the
I
way,
want to do a podcast on that. By the way,
okay. And by the way, I did all of that as well. I kitted up cars. I modified cars. I went to Miami to buy my own sound system with the subs, with the amps, 5-channel amp, the tweeter speakers.
my amps were better though. My subs were better.
No, honey, never.
I had a
But
15 inch
anyway,
sub. I had JBL tweeters.
You had 15-inch. I had two 12-inch Rockwood Fosgates, and they were like the dawn back in those days. I don't know
Are you
what's
talking
going
about
on
inches
now.
on this podcast?
All right. Anyway, so listen, this is how we know. This is how you know we just match, right? Proper tomboy. So look, 30% living expenses, and actually, what we have done, what Vinay has done, I think is very, very smart. Since we have moved into a different area, a little bit outside London in the countryside, we've just said, you know what, let's be wiser with our money. Let's be wiser with our living expenses. This is going to be more like a permanent home as well, especially for the family. Our, where they go to do their seva work is very local. So, Vin, explain what you have done to really reduce that living expense costs.
Well, this is something which has only come about recently, maybe because I'm getting older as well. I'm thinking about, there's one, I mean, this could actually be a whole module, assets versus liabilities. And I think the focus now is buying assets rather than liabilities, and whatever it may be. So, for example, I want to reduce the electrical costs, electricity. So we've got solar panels. We invested in solar panels. We invested in electric car. By the way, this Tesla is going to take out any car on that road. It is so fast. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a sound. I'm working on the sound. I'm getting sound on that baby. The electric charger. Other things.
The water as well. What we've
The water.
Yeah.
So the whole water. I mean, we're big. I mean, that's a whole new podcast as well. Water and the effect water has on our health. I mean, water is the source, one of the sources of life. So all the water in all of the heating, the pipes is all treated with salt. It's a treatment that costs money. Obviously, the water we drink, reverse osmosis machine, that filter is changed regularly. Just thinking of other things, whatever it may be, is a asset. So it could be even where we go gym. It could be things that I do and buy, which can be a tax relief, tax avoidance, not evasion, that's illegal. But things that kind of benefit us in the longer term. Now, of course, fortunately, the house that we live in is all paid off, so there's no mortgage. So we are looking at reducing
the cost.
every single cost in every aspect. I'm sure there's more examples. I can't actually think of it more.
Yeah.
But those are the two main ones.
Yeah.
Electricity, fuel on the car. Although the other car we drive, obviously, is fuel, so that's different. But, it's about having that balance. But really and truly, for me, it's an enjoyable thing to buy an asset rather than a liability. I think the only liability I bought in the last year or two is probably that watch that I bought.
I don't even think that's a liability, because the value.
Value increase.
Yeah, I mean, it's a designer, it's...
Even the holidays we've gone to have been events. Last holidays we've gone to in Rome.
It's been business.
Yeah, we went to Tony Robbins events. We went to Chicago, Kevin Trudeau.
Yeah.
The only kind of maybe social event we went to Bali, that was for a spiritual yatra.
Yeah.
From the mandir.
Yeah.
Mandir, very important. That, I'm just saying, it's very...
You're going to get done for this.
So...
It brings us on to the next thing. Which
so where are we now? 30%, that's 50% gone.
No, 40% gone, no?
No, 10% you pay yourself.
Okay, yeah.
10% charity, Monday, and 30%
Yes.
living expenses. 50%
so
left.
He's clearly better at maths than me. Okay, the next thing is 30% to reinvest. Okay, so this goes back into your business. This goes reinvesting back into, it could be something that you're already into. It could be something new.
Personal development.
Exactly.
Investment in yourself.
Absolutely. And it seems like a high number, guys, but honestly, if you spend it in the right avenues, you're going to realize that, oh my God, I wish I had more money to put back into these things. Whether it's maybe you're building your own crypto portfolio, maybe you want to start looking into getting into properties like we very recently have started going into properties. And again, you don't need a lot of money. You need to have the right contacts. You need to know the marketplace. You need to have the right price. And you need to have someone who's going to help you through the process of it. So we've recently invested into 3 properties in Dubai. And again, it's not really come from like, we're doing it from one thing and then reinvesting into another. So the money that's coming in from your job, put it into something that's going to bring more money and then reinvest that into something else. It's like a cycle, basically.
I mean, we spent tens of thousands on coach. We had a coach for 6 months.
Yeah.
And it could be an event that we travel to abroad, whether it's in America or Europe. When we first met, the events were happening in Southeast Asia, which was expensive flights and everything. But, these things all pay off. It's the mindset of these things and getting into that environment. So if we've spent now, 80% has gone. So 20% left.
Yes.
I think that I know you've put down there savings, but I believe for tax as well. It may be 10% you save, You put, Kevin Trudeau says, put it under the bed. I don't care. Save it for a rainy day.
Yeah.
Now, one thing's really interesting. I forgot the guy's name I listened to. He goes, why would you save for a rainy day? That means you're expecting one. And guess what? A rainy day comes. It's a very interesting school of thought. I love listening to many, many podcasters or many, many personal self-development coaches. And each have their own unique way of doing things and saying things. They don't always agree or collaborate. One person say, live below your means. Another person says, no, live within your means.
Yeah.
But where are the fool? Live below your means. And
Yeah.
I've never understood this concept until recently because I've always lived outside my means. But not living within your means meaning you're spending everything you got. But living below them means you have extra things to do extra stuff. And, one of the things that we was talking about saving on was insurance premiums. Different, car insurance, house insurance, we've got business insurance. You can shop around and save money. You can shop around and save on sometimes, we like to buy designer. But sometimes we don't always buy designer. We'll buy the bog standard thing, whatever, because it might be at that relevant time or whatever.
Exactly.
So this next, you got 20% left, but I think 10%. I mean, you can pay taxes from your savings. I recommend if you're in a business or you're self-employed, get a good accountant. He'll tell you how to save in your taxes.
Again, Indian accountant.
Indian accountant, yeah, because they're the best. Not to be biased. You got Asian accountant. No. Whoever's good at what they do, but 20% needs to be saved. Can I tell you one thing? When you have these different buckets, so if 20% has gone to savings, that's 100% of your money now has been used productively. But that nest that you're building is going to do something for your psychology, your emotional well-being that nothing else can do. I mean, you could be a multi-millionaire. I know some people who are very close to me, and I look into their lives. I know them very well, business partners of mine, who made, $500,000 in a year. And they could phone me and ask me for £2,000. They could ask me for money or a couple of hundred. And I'm thinking, where is your money gone? Because they're living within their means or maybe out of their means, but not below their means. They're spending more than that's come in. So it's having that money go and put to use.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, fortunately, the position we're in now, most of our money, I think most of it, 50, 60, 70% probably gets saved because our income is better, but our means are, we've developed such a mindset now.
Yeah.
We don't do, there are times where I just feel like going to the Ferrari or Lamborghini showroom.
And I'm like,
when you stop me
hell
every
no.
time.
Isn't it what someone said that unless you've got 6 times,
My mentor told me that, yeah.
right? 6
You need
times
to have 6 times the money of that vehicle, because I love vehicles,
in your account.
in your bank account, then you go and buy it. And I was like, whoa, okay, let me wait a bit. The Lambo can wait. It can wait. It can wait. It's not going nowhere. It's not going anywhere. Not going anywhere.
It's here for you.
There's it for me. So, guys, I mean, that is what we do
Yeah.
now and what we did back then. But I tell you one thing, I highly recommend. If you're by yourself, do it by yourself. If you're with a partner, do it with your partner. Sit down and work out where money is coming in. Remember that Excel document we used to have?
God, yeah. Do you know, I used to write down as well, like everything that I'm spending. And if you're someone that wants to get better at saving money and wants to be more conscious of how you're spending money, do this exercise as well. And everything you're spending on a daily, weekly, monthly basis, write it down on a piece of paper. At the end of the week, have a look at it, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And I'm one of those people. I do things out of impulse. I hate Instagram ads because it always suck me into buying something. The people that are advertising, they're either really beautiful with beautiful hair, with beautiful skin, and all the things you want, and you're like, oh, do you know what? It's not a lot. It's an offer. There's a special offer. Let me just buy it.
That's the hook.
These people are very good who are using was it a marketing tool, right? Instagram, social media. They're very good at what they do. So, when you're writing things down, you're going to be very conscious of the next time you're spending, because you're going to think, oh my God, I'm going to have to write this down and look back at it later and ask myself, was it a necessity? Did I really need to do this? And, it takes that kind of inner strength to be able to change your habits, I would say, change your pattern of how you're doing things. Just to make the whole financial situation better for yourself.
Back then, or you would have to consciously think, write down, evaluate, and that's just a great thing to do continuously.
It is.
But it does start to become a habit, and it becomes the norm of what needs to be
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
So if you gradually, and the good thing is, doing it with somebody, like your wife, your partner, you help each other. You may have moments. I do have moments where I want to just go and buy or spend, or we
And
want to
he'll
go.
always ask me, which is really nice.
Yeah, because I know it's wrong. That's what I'm asking. I'm like, and if I'm not going to ask you, I just do it.
Yeah. If you have a little doubt, you're like, oh, Rup, shall I buy this? What do you think? Is the price good? And I'll give you my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But it starts to feel good to just, it's like, if I was to buy an asset now, it feels good.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at cars, looking at electric vehicles. I'm looking at ones that are fast, got big range, that look good. But rather than, then I look for, sometimes we want to buy, Range Rover SVR or autobiography or something just amazing. And then, sometimes, it's for me, it may not be for you. I look at some of my work colleagues and friends and, they've got like Porsches and the brand new this and they've got this. And I'm like, I'm still driving around a little old car. You know why? Because for me, that old car, because I do a lot of mileage, by the way, it does what I need to do and it's an asset.
Exactly.
And that makes me feel good. It's like eating, my children, we eat together and I'm eating food which is good for me. And they're kids, so they're eating whatever the sugary, stuff. But they say, Papa, it doesn't taste nice. I'm going, when you start to know what it does for you, how good it is, it tastes nice. I like the sweet potato. I like the broccoli. I like the avocado. And the great thing is Ruper makes it in such a way it's tasty anyway. So it's same thing with doing this. You'll start to realize that money is really a tool. Money is a game and you have to get good at this game. And if it can happen, I wish I was doing this in my 20s as a teenager, but I wasn't. I was very bad with money. I had been bad with money. And thankfully, marrying the right person, you start to get better at money. So, yes, anything else to end this podcast on?
I just remembered a quote from Bob Proctor, what he said in his audio. I think it was, which one? Oh my God, I just heard it recently as well. Anyway, he said, he was so broke and someone said to him, like, money doesn't have ears, money can't talk, but it has ears. And he's like, what do you mean? He said, money can hear. So if you start calling for money, just start hollering at it, it will just come running right up to you. And he was like, well, if I knew that, I would have started hollering at it ages ago.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, money can come to you. Money will come to you. Know what you're doing with it. Ask for it in the way you should be asking for it. And just be organized. Be prepared to physically receive more and more money. And that will only happen if you know what you're doing with what you currently have. And as long as you're clear on that and you're well organized and you feel good. When you feel good about where your money's going, what your money's doing, where your money's sitting, when you start feeling good about money, that's energy. And that's what money is. Money is just energy. So, use it in the right way and use these tools correctly. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, just to follow on from that as well, I remember we used to go to central London. I used to type into Google,
Oh my God.
most expensive restaurant in London or most expensive bar or whatever. We used to go there just for, God, we didn't have much money, so we used to go there for, maybe just go there, Ritz-Carlton, Mayfair or Park Lane or somewhere, maybe buy a drink, cup of tea or something. Even that was expensive.
It was
and
£20
we used to
for a
just,
cup of tea.
Yeah, and sometimes that because it used to make us feel good.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to do things which make you feel good, and you can attract. And now we started going to those restaurants now and spending whatever it is. Why? Because we're in a position to.
Yeah.
But it also is something that we're living that we, like you said,
It's a process.
it can't talk, but it can hear. And you need to know how to call it. And it's not about begging for it and saying, well, it's like, if you got it, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to respect it? Because that's when it is. It's just energy, isn't it? Energy transfer and energy flow. It needs to flow. And, there are techniques and ways. And thankfully, from all the personal development, it really does help. So look forward to seeing you on the next podcast. Please like, share and comment as always. And speak to you soon.
Thank you. See you later.